If you're thinking about starting freelancing or you've already started but you're struggling to land clients, then this video is for you. My name is Kevin, and over the past 3 years, I've earned hundreds of thousands of dollars as a UX UI freelance designer. I've delivered 50 plus projects and worked with startups and agencies from all over the world. At the end of 2022, I started with zero full-time work experience, no idea what I was doing. I tried lots of different platforms like freelancer.com, Upwork, Fiverr, People Per Hour. I was constantly refreshing the job boards, sending out proposals, and even bought some connects on Upwork just so that I can send out more proposals. If I had to start over today, no clients, no projects, no portfolio, this is the exact roadmap that I'd follow. Here's a little summary of what I'll be covering today. Figuring out your niche, your ideal clients, your price, showcasing your work, choosing your platform, how to weaponize rejections, building digital presence and network, scaling your skills, and setting clear boundaries. And real quick, even if you're not a designer, everything I'll be covering applies to pretty much any freelance field. Let's jump right in. When you're just starting out, you might not know what you want to do yet or what you're really good at. You may be good at multiple different things, and figuring out which one you really want to focus on can take some time, and that's okay. Freelancing is all about solving the client's problems for them. If you know what kind of problems you can solve for other people and possess the required skills and experience to do so, then that's your advantage. Maybe you're a really good video editor, or maybe you have experience in website copywriting. Then use those skills and experience as a head start. But if you don't even know where to start, maybe you haven't had any professional trainings or experience, then that's okay too. Try lots of different things. Think about what kind of problems that you can solve for other people. And there's lots of low barrier options that don't require some expert level technical skills that you can try when you're just starting out, like data entry, transcription, or some basic social media management. At the start of my freelancing journey, I did all kinds of projects. I designed landing pages, did some email marketing, mobile app designs, graphic designs for social media, basically anything that paid. And that slowly taught me what kinds of projects I should start taking more seriously that are aligned with how I want to position myself in the market. About 2 months in, I stopped taking graphic designs and social media projects. I knew from day one that I wanted to focus on UX UI design. It's just that I said yes to everything at first to get going. And 2 months in was just when I decided that I should stop taking projects outside of UX UI design, and that's where I started to notice real growth, both in revenue and leads. It's okay to start out broad, try lots of different things, give yourself time to figure out what you're good at and what you enjoy. As you take on more and more projects, you'll gain skills, knowledge, and experience which over time you can use to increase your rates and transition into higher income work. For example, start out doing basic social media management like scheduling posts and replying to comments. Over time, you'll learn about which type of content performs the best, how paid ads work, you'll learn more about audience psychology. Eventually, you can position yourself as a social media strategist, which pays significantly more. Having a clear niche makes marketing so much easier. Once you know the specific path or role you want to take seriously for the long term, commit to it. Present yourself as an authority in that niche, and you're more likely to become the go-to person for that job. Once you've got your niche figured out, you know what problems you can solve for other people, ask yourself, who are these people? Who actually needs your help? Who is your ideal client? I'm a UX UI designer, and my ideal clients are startup founders with mobile and web app ideas, smaller companies that might need help with their websites, and creative agencies that either do not have designer like a development agency or do have designers but they're overwhelmed with work and need some extra help. If you want to go deeper and more specific, you can also target industry-specific clients. Like if I were to only target mobile app startups that are within the F&B industry, but I wouldn't suggest doing that, especially if you're just starting out. So think about who needs your help the most and the type of clients that you actually have the best chance of landing a project with. Now you've got to figure out how much you want to charge. When you're just starting out, you have no experience, no social proofs. You're competing with other freelancers who are already levels ahead of you in terms of skills and experience and credibility. You've got to think about how you can convince clients to choose you and trust you to solve their problem for them. And unfortunately, the easiest way is by lowering your price. Start out small, deliver great results on time, back a couple of great reviews, and slowly up your rate. Maybe 10 or 15% every other project. Starting low does not mean staying low. With that said, you'll also want to do some research on the average pay of the role or the project that you're taking. Even as a beginner, make sure that you're not getting severely lowballed. There's a difference between pricing competitively and undervaluing yourself. If you're from a less developed country like myself, remember that your geographical location does not determine your value. Your work output does. If you're good at what you do and you have the proof to back it up, clients will pay higher rates when they see your value. Don't be afraid of charging premium rates, especially if you know that your work output justifies the price. You've got to have some sort of portfolio where you show what you do. It doesn't matter if it's a Behance page or your Instagram, show your process, how you approach certain issues, and how you come up with the solutions. An issue with a lot of people, and I'm certainly guilty of this as well, is that they chase perfection when it comes to their portfolio. I used to spend weeks, even months, trying to come up with the perfect design for my portfolio. And the truth is, it doesn't have to be this fancy over-the-top website with some fancy animations. It just needs to prove that you can do the work. Stop creating imaginary barriers for yourself. When I started, my portfolio had 3 projects, none of which were real client projects. The UI was a mess. These are assignments from the Google UX course I took on Coursera back in 2022. These aren't very good. These are bad, honestly, but they were enough to start conversations with potential clients and actually landed me my first real project. For most people, your portfolio will never feel like it's finished. You'll always find something to adjust, some details to polish. Once I came to terms with this fact, the whole portfolio thing got so much easier. Just hit publish and move on. You can always improve it as you go. Now you know what you want to do, you've got your portfolio published. The next big question is, where do you find the clients? Most people like myself start out with freelance platforms like Upwork and Fiverr. And here are the pros and cons of some that I've personally tried. Upwork is probably the biggest freelance marketplace out there. Huge client pools, tons of competitions. Here's the thing that you need to know before starting on Upwork. They have a currency called Connex, which is required to bid for jobs. For most people, you'll have to invest some money upfront to buy these Connex because the free ones just weren't enough. The pros. Lots and lots of projects to apply for. You can refresh the job board every 5 minutes and you'll see a new project being posted there. There's also payment protection, time tracking software for hourly based projects as well. The cons. It's insanely competitive. And the case for most people is that you have to spend some money upfront to buy the Connex to bid for projects. If you're willing to spend maybe 20 to 100 bucks to get started, it's a good choice for starters. It's where I started, it's where I found the most success out of all the platforms, got some long-term clients there, and I still take projects there from time to time. Here's a very important tip. Learn how to write good proposals. The worse your proposals are, the more expensive Upwork becomes. You'll pour money down the drain by buying Connex and wasting them on bad proposals that no one will read. Let me know if you guys want me to create a dedicated video on Upwork. Fiverr. It works the opposite way of other platforms. You create gig listings and clients come to buy your gigs. Your gigs then compete with others on the search result page when clients are looking for that specific service. The pros. You get to set your own price, what's included in the service, how many revisions, all in one package, so you don't need to send out proposals for jobs. The cons. They take 20% off of what you make. I forgot to mention this, but Upwork takes about 5 to 15%, I think, depending on project size. And when you're just starting out, pricing your services can be difficult as you're competing with others offering the same service with more established profiles, so most people need to lower the price. I didn't find luck with Fiverr, maybe because I wasn't good with my listings SEO, but if you're good with SEO and know how to present your services well, Fiverr can be your choice. People per hour. They use a similar system to Upwork. Clients post jobs and you compete with other freelancers by submitting proposals. It's also based in the UK, so the default currency is GBP, not USD. They also have a credit system where you'll spend credits when bidding for projects, and last time I checked, which is about 2 years ago, they hand out 15 credits monthly for free, which was more than enough because there's just weren't enough jobs to apply for to begin with. The pros. There's significantly less competition, therefore higher chance of landing projects. The cons. It's not as well known. There's smaller client pools, which means less project opportunities, and they also take 20% off of what you make. I actually got a couple of projects there at the start of my freelancing journey. I think it's worth trying if you're not getting traction on other platforms, but I wouldn't make it my primary focus. Your own website. This is where you have full control over your business and the goal for most freelancers. The pros. Obviously, there's no commission cuts. You have full control over your own branding and pricing. You also look more professional and established. You can rank on searches and get found organically. The cons: it takes time, at least a little bit of money, and a lot of marketing effort to build traffic and credibility. If this sounds like where you want to be, I'd suggest to start building from day one, even if it's just a simple one-page portfolio site. As you go through your freelancing journey, you gain experience and clients on platforms. You can slowly shift your focus here. There are tons of other freelance marketplaces that I haven't mentioned. I would suggest starting out with 1 or 2 platforms, mainly because you don't need to do any marketing. They essentially serve you with warm leads every day. People there already need your help and are actively looking to hire. You don't need to hunt for clients yourselves and do any cold pitches, which is a lot of work. Keep your expectations in check because you will face rejections, lots of it. I did, and most of the time I didn't even get a reply, and that's okay. Not every client is going to be your client. I pitched to probably about 30 to 40 clients before I got my first project. Those rejections forced me to refine my proposals, tighten my messaging, and choose better portfolio pieces. I'd swap work examples to fit the project. If it's a landing page project, don't give out a mobile app example. If your proposals aren't getting views or replies, it might be because your initial messaging just wasn't strong enough to grab their attention and start a conversation. If you're getting responses, but you keep getting ghosted or you rarely close the deal, that means they like your initial hook, but something in the follow-up just wasn't landing. It could be your pricing that turned them off. Maybe you're not showing enough confidence when you're explaining your process. Maybe you're not clearly addressing their concerns, or, and this was the biggest issue for me, your portfolio just does not show enough relevant work. Keep track on where you keep losing clients. If it's always after the price discussion, that's the issue. If it's after the portfolio review, you need stronger portfolio pieces. Figure out what's the issue and turn those rejections into your advantage. You can be excellent at identifying the client's problems, coming up with great solutions, delivering projects flawlessly, but if you fail to market yourself well, how will prospective clients find you outside of those platforms? How will people that need your service know that you exist in the first place? Your potential clients have yet to meet or talk to you. All they can do is search online for someone to do the job. Build a digital presence. It helps you look professional. It's a huge help in gaining trust and getting potential clients. Obviously, having your own website is ideal, but even if you don't, put some work on your social profiles. Spend some time to update your LinkedIn page. Write articles and case studies on your past projects. Post cool pieces of your work, and it doesn't even have to be finished products. It can be simple things like a widget design you did on X or a nice video transition on TikTok. And this ties back to what I mentioned earlier about your portfolio. You want to put yourself out there and be discoverable. Here's another simple tip to elevate your digital presence. Use the same profile photo on every platform and social media that you're on. This creates brand recognition and helps people remember you, your brand, and what you do. As a freelancer, your network is your net worth. This is very cliche, but it's true. Strong network can be source of new clients when work slows down. The first and most straightforward way to network is to be exceptionally good at what you do. And I'm not just talking about your technical design or editing skills, I'm talking everything, like managing deadlines, communicating ideas and disagreements, responding quickly, presenting solutions, showing you understand the assignment even with a fake brief. When you consistently provide great working experiences, people remember you. People love working with you. They will start referring you and bringing your name up in conversations. Hard skills get you hired, soft skills keep you hired. And this is certainly true for me. There was this one simple web design project that didn't take more than 2 weeks to complete. The client was happy about it, and he referred me to one of his startup founder friends, and I ended up doing a $15,000 plus projects with him without needing to do any pitches or sending out any proposals. My client did the pitching to my other client for me. Instead of polluting people's inbox with cold pitches, another way that I'd like to grow my network is through social media, especially LinkedIn. Engage with your ideal clients. Leave thoughtful comments or questions on their posts. It takes less than 10 seconds. When these people start seeing your name regularly and they see that you're someone who gets their work, adds value to the conversation, your name may come to mind when your services are needed. Lastly, you can also grow your network by joining groups and communities, whether it's on LinkedIn, Facebook, Discord, wherever your niche hangs around. But don't just show up to self-promote. Ask questions, answer questions, share insights. Engage genuinely with people. When you combine great work with genuine relationships, people naturally want to help you succeed, and you will start attracting clients organically. Once you're landing projects consistently and making steady income every month, think about how you can increase your value. How do you go from making 3 to 5K every month to 5 to 8K every month, or maybe even more? You can do this by upgrading your skill sets. As an example, I started out and still am a UX UI designer. As I work on more and more projects, sometimes I realize that clients need help on things that aren't included in the original scope, things that I could handle if I just spent some time learning them. Sometimes they need someone to set up CMS on their framework website. Sometimes they want their design system updated or migrated from another software. These are skills that I initially did not possess, but eventually I realized that if I can offer these add-ons on top of my core services, I can make more money, the client does not have to look for someone else to do it for them, and once I learn these skills, I can now add these to my future projects, therefore charging higher rates in the long run. There's lots of ways you can expand your skill sets and upgrade the services that you offer. I watch lots and lots of YouTube tutorials, browse tutorial articles on Google. These are all free. Education is free these days if you know where to look. You can also pay for trainings and workshops and online courses, learn things that you might not find for free on the internet. Another way to upgrade your skills is by being proactive. Ask lots of questions. Don't be afraid to voice out disagreements. Speak when you have an idea that you know fits the business well, even when they didn't ask. It shows that you care about the results and not just taking orders. Remember, you're their working partner, not an order taker. Clients love working with people who challenge assumptions, offer different perspectives, offer solutions to problems that they might not even realize are there. The more valuable you become, the more you make. It's as simple as that. This was the hardest lesson for me. You're not an employee, you're a hired expert, and experts set boundaries. You should know your worth, be confident in the quality of work you're delivering and the rate you're charging for it. That means you should push back when something does not make sense or just isn't worth your time. And some of you will say, but I really need that first review, or the money doesn't matter that much early on because you'll need to build credibility before you can up your rate. And I totally agree. Early on, I'd take on any project at any price because I was desperate to land that first client and get that first real review. I did $70 for a website and $500 for a full responsive web app with 250 plus screens. Eventually, I realized that this isn't how I want to run my freelancing business. I guess it's a matter of knowing when you should stop saying yes to every lead and start filtering out bad clients from the good ones. After your first 3 to 5 projects, you should already be able to spot red flags and know which clients are going to be problems and headaches in the long run. And that should be everything you need to start your freelancing journey. You don't need to have everything figured out on day one. Start where you are, take imperfect actions, and learn as you go. If you found the video helpful, make sure to give it a like, consider subscribing, and I'll see you on the next one.